Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, crypto traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news and interviews. It is Sunday. Happy Sunday, October 5th. Hope you're having a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update, this time for the period September 27th to October 3rd. And again, it's not a deep dive detail or anything like that. It's just a high level overview in case you missed it. And you can read up on it more in your own time. Took a couple weeks off. I had some vacation, was in Prince Edward Island with friends and family, back into the swing of things, but unfortunately got hit with the plague. I got pretty sick, so my throat's quite sore. I'll try to get through this as best I can today, but bear with me. And went a little lighter on the news today. I just kind of picked the most important ones, and try to keep this video a little bit shorter in honor of my throat. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos, and I do these videos each and every weekend. You can follow us over on X as well. The handle for that is @GroupPow. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Just in, the SEC has asked issuers of Litecoin, XRP, Solana, and Cardano, and also Doge spot ETFs to withdraw their 19B-4 filings following the approval of generic listing standards. So basically, the SEC trying to make it easier for these issuers to comply and launch ETFs. And the withdrawals were expected to begin later this week. So this was from September 29th. So that would have been within like a couple days after that. But this, in my opinion, is a great sign. And we could even see BlackRock coming up. We have Ripple Swell coming up here in about a month. So I do think that there's a good chance that we get news that BlackRock is more than likely going to file for an XRP ETF over the next couple of months. And maybe, who knows, maybe they even save that announcement for Swell. And Applied DNA Sciences secures up to $58 million for a BNB treasury strategy. And we've been seeing this a lot lately. And I said that this trend is not going to slow down at any point soon. Not only do we have countries adding it to their central banks and whatnot, or you have all these big corporations adding their treasury strategies, right? And then just imagine once you get like the Amazons and the Microsofts and the Apples of the world. We know that there's been multiple big mega cap tech companies that have tried to get shareholder approval to do that, but they didn't receive it. And I think that was a wise decision. You know, like, why would you want to add Bitcoin to your treasury strategy if you're Microsoft when Bitcoin's at all-time highs, right? Just doesn't make any sense. It's not worth the risk versus reward. If Bitcoin were to fall, 60, 70% or something like that from an all-time high, then maybe that would make sense. But personally, if I were the CEO of a company, I'd be looking at assets that have high utility and haven't completely maxed out their multiplier effect at this point, and have a lot more upside potential versus risk to the downside. So another update on that front is the Reliance Global Group adds XRP to digital asset treasury. So again, BNB would be a little reluctant there. Could it go up 100% from here, a couple 100%? Absolutely. But, we're at all-time highs, and I just, XRP, yes, XRP's at all-time highs as well, but BNB hasn't been attacked by the SEC, right? It hasn't been given a regulatory free pass from the government like Bitcoin and Ethereum did in the US, right? It's been all these influencers. There's even been, like, Paul Barron said that they developed a algorithm and a type of technology that will filter out all of the bots. And he said XRP is the least amount of bots out of any community out there. And all these social media influencers were paid way back in the day to basically talk smack about XRP. That's been proven. And just with all that, kind of attacking, XRP still leads and is in the top 3. So you can't dethrone XRP. And in my opinion, probably the best asset to ever add to a treasury strategy. Also, Crypto Briefing reports that Ripple CTO David Schwartz announced he will step down from daily duties at year-end and transition to Ripple's board of directors. So you hear all kinds of crazy stuff like, oh, you see, Ripple and XRP are nothing but a joke. Their CTO's moving. He doesn't even believe in it. It's like, no, he's been working with the company for 13 years and probably hasn't been a day gone by where he didn't work, some crazy amount of hours. So, ride off into the sunset. He even posted on X himself saying that he was going to be spending time with his family. So anybody who has an issue with that, I would question whether or not you have a brain cell. So, you have to understand this guy is filthy stinking rich now, right? And he's only going to get more and more wealthy as time goes on. And, you can't take it with you when you go. So focus on what matters most, and that's family and friends and relationships. Also, another 2.5 million FXRP was minted in 90 minutes. XRP Fi hunger is real. So Asian and European time zones, check. And America, you were up next. This was from October 1st. And we're really starting to see the demand for Flare and assets. So essentially bringing smart contracts and DeFi to native layer 1 projects that don't already have that supported. Also, CME Group plans 24/7 cryptocurrency and options trading, and that could be starting early 2026. So there's been a lot of delays and such, but we'll see what happens here. I do think that they're going to really want to kind of accelerate this and expedite this as much as possible. I think, a lot of people are saying, eventually you're going to have crypto trade, like stocks trade on the blockchain, just like crypto 24/7, 365. A lot of people are thinking that's going to be like 5 or 10 years out. I don't think so. I think it's going to be, I think we're talking like a matter of months, if not a few years at the most, that everything's going to be tokenized. And we know that the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, has said that he really wants to make crypto a number one priority and bringing stocks and bonds and real world assets on chain. Also, Walmart-backed fintech OnePay is bringing crypto to its banking app as we see more mainstream adoption and big corporations. I mean, when you get the biggest retailer in the world like Walmart getting, maybe indirectly, but, it's a great sign. So things are trending massively in the right direction. Also, Classover to accept Solana payments and holds 13.4 million in Solana treasury. So again, folks, this is not a trend that's going to slow down anytime soon. Also, Coinbase announced that they partnered with Samsung to bring crypto to 75 plus million new people. So again, if this isn't mainstream adoption, I don't know what is. When you got a company like Samsung, Walmart, even got Warren Buffett that's invested in companies that are indirectly investing into crypto. So the tides are changing, folks. It's a complete sea change, and it's an exciting time to be in this space. Also, bridging XRP, FXRP is simple, and with minting caps raising each week, more holders can join the flow from start to finish. Here's how to mint captured in 6 images. So if you haven't seen this, just go over to Flare on their X profile, and it's pretty cool. Actually, I just clicked on the wrong thing there. Let me click on the comments here. So yeah, if you just scroll down here, you connect wallet, you mint it. So I'm not going to be, I get a lot of people asking me about this. I already posted a video on this, so you can check it out. But I'm not going to be like a guinea pig here. So just go over to videos, and scroll down. And I have this video here, my plan for F assets and XRP Fi, pros and cons, watch before minting. So you really want to watch that. Again, don't do what I do because I say or write about it. Do what makes sense for you, and just maybe get a few other opinions from other experts out there or people who have been following this project for a while. Personally, I just don't see the risk versus reward with regards to XRP. If it comes to Flare, like why not Flare? Why not delegate my Flare, wrap my Flare, delegate it, stake it, right? All that good stuff. Participate in these monthly Flare drops and airdrops. There's 4 months of airdrops left. Absolutely. But when it comes to taking my XRP and putting it into a protocol that hasn't really been battle tested or tested really, I mean, they have the Songbird network, right? The Canary network and the testnet. But, for me, if I'm holding Flare, right? If I'm holding FLR token on, say, an exchange, or better yet, on a wallet, well, if I have Flare on my Tangent wallet, which I did, and you can go to tangent.com and put in code POW. There was actually, you could get 25% off the ring as well. I posted a video on that. Check it out. I'm not sure if you can still do that, but free shipping as well, so check it out. But instead of just leaving the FLR on your Tangent wallet, why not have it wrapped, delegated, staked, doing all these other features that it was built to do? Because irregardless, if you're holding Flare in a self-custody wallet, like you're supposed to, not on an exchange, right? Or maybe you have some kind of qualified custodian. But there's no difference between holding FLR self-custody or wrapping it and delegating it and taking advantage of that. Because if there was ever a kind of a hole in the network or a flaw, right, or some sort of vulnerability that was discovered or hack or attack on the network, well, regardless if you hold Flare self-custody just as normal Flare or it's wrapped and you're doing the delegation rewards and all that, well, there's not going to be any difference, right? The network has been basically vulnerable and it's been attacked and it's been exposed, right? So irregardless if you have it wrapped or not wrapped, you're going to see the value plummet. Whereas XRP, if you basically bring over your XRP to earn yield, and you wrap or you mint your XRP into F assets and get the equivalent FXRP. Well, if the Flare network ever went down, XRP would be just fine. So it's not even complete. It's completely different, right? Holding XRP by itself, self custody, versus wrapping it, versus minting it and putting it on the Flare network, right? Those are two very completely different things versus holding Flare and then wrapping Flare, right? So just be very, very cautious on that. That's my plan. Again, check out the video for more details on that. But I thought this was really great. They go through 6 images that really break it down simply, and you want to start with a small amount as well, right? Don't go risking, 80% of your XRP holdings or anything like that. But I'm very, very bullish on Flare long term, and I've been accumulating heavily over the last several months, and I'll continue to do so, especially as we end up these Flare drops. There's only 4 months left. There's going to be 2 in December, so December will be a big month. All right, let me know what you think of this news in the comment section below. Continue the conversation there. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.